Right now at 5, the city of Caney, Kansas experiences a severe water shortage.
And we continue with excessive heat warnings once again for virtually every county in our area. We'll talk about the dangerous heat coming up.
Also, the Joplin Humane Society tells the Neosho Police Department they can no longer intake strays.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So it is already hot again out there across the area, and I stopped at Quick Trip this morning for my usual very big soda to get me going, and there's a guy talking like we just couldn't believe how hot and muggy it was at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it still is that way. Let's take a look first though at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. So in our immediate area, not really much to show you. 90% of what you see there is not happening, but there are some thunderstorms out there. Unfortunately, as you can see, they're kind of doing this just loop around the 4-state area. We're hopeful that we might get a few morning thunderstorms off of this activity, and you can see the outflow that it pushed off, and unfortunately this time, unlike yesterday morning, that outflow didn't trigger anything out there, but we are hopeful that we might be able to get at least a few thunderstorms for our northern counties this morning. And then there's this, the excessive heat warning. Southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma until 9, and then National Weather Service office in Springfield added more counties in southwest Missouri and also extended the excessive heat warning until 10 o'clock tonight, because it's going to stay pretty darn hot today, and these are expected to continue for most of us into our Friday. So that puts us once again 105 to 115 degrees, at least for heat index values, making heat exhaustion likely and heat stroke possible. So same thing again as if with a severe weather situation. We want to remind you to stay hydrated, make sure you're taking those breaks, limit your outdoor activities, wear lightweight, light colored clothing, and be sure you're checking on the elderly and the pets. MoDOT camera 20th and range line, we are looking good so far, albeit hot. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue south of Pittsburgh. And this is what we mean. It's 84 degrees in Joplin right now. Feels like 87, and temperatures around the region are up there and they are toasty. We've got 80 in Pittsburgh, 83 Miami, 79 in Parsons, 75 Iola, Fort Scott, 76 Nevada, 80 in Neosho, and 83 in Carthage. We do still have relief on the way. I've been talking about it. We've just got a couple more days or so to get through before we get there. We'll talk about when that relief will get here and what it'll do to our temperatures here in a few more minutes. Caitlin?
All right, and Joplin police say this man, Jeffrey Hans, was observed abandoning stolen property at the Dairy Queen on 32nd Street, recovered from the El Caballo de Ora Mexican restaurant. Further investigation revealed that El Caballo de Ora had been burglarized and the back door appeared to have forced entry. Hans was detained and arrested on 2 active felony warrants. An additional charge of burglary in the 2nd degree was forwarded to the Jasper County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. The city of Columbus, Kansas temporarily closes its pool and splash pad. The city closed its pool for precautionary purposes as the city is currently under a boil water advisory. The city will follow all KDHE testing protocols and hope to get the boil water advisory rescinded before this weekend. The city apologized on Facebook for the inconvenience and said that its teams are working as quickly as possible to make repairs and restore normal system function. The city of Caney, Kansas is experiencing a severe water shortage. Authorities in Caney have categorized the situation as a stage 3 emergency. That's the top of the scale. It means residents can use water only for essential activities. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
This school year will start a little different once again for students from the Caney School District.
Unfortunately, we've been through this before, and so it's good and bad, but by having gone through it already, we have some efforts that were very successful last year. A lot of those are very familiar to our students.
The efforts come as a consequence of the water shortage that is impacting the area. To help save water in a time of crisis, among other measures, Caney schools will opt for food that utilizes less water to make, use disposable plates and utensils, avoid watering the football field, encourage the use of hand sanitizer instead of soap and water, and close down water fountains and bottle filling stations.
Instead of utilizing the local water, we actually bring in pallets of bottled water. We've been very lucky that local businesses and individuals have supported us with that, and so although we've had to use some school funds to help out with that, a lot of those come from donations.
The school district's not alone in the effort to save water. City officials mandate residents use water only for essential needs.
We've determined that if we have to and people are out watering yards and things, they'll get a notice in the mail. And if they still don't adhere to that, there will be fines attached after that.
The city is also taking other actions to minimize the impacts on residents.
The water from the pool will be drafted and dechlorinated. Then the 130,000 gallons of water will be sent to the water lock to be used by residents.
They will also pump water from below the dam back up into the water lock. Those measures will help keep Caney's reserve for another 3 months.
We're hoping and praying by then that we get rain of substantial rains. We're going to have water to fill up our resource water too, Timber Hill Lake again. And good Lord knows where we're at.
Until the rain comes, students in Caney schools and the entire community will be in conservation mode. In Caney, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
According to Caney's city administrator, in the worst-case scenario, Caney will have semi-trucks hauling water to the city. Marion Days returns to Carthage, Missouri, amidst an excessive heat warning. Despite the 100-plus degree temperatures in Missouri, tens of thousands of Vietnamese Christians from across the world flock to Marion Days. Doctors from around the country volunteer their expertise, treating everything from heat stroke to cuts needing stitches. Last year, COVID was the main concern, but this year's focus is on the heat.
I am one of the many doctors who come here, and we all take the time off. It's a sacrifice because it's the time off and traveling, and some of us travel from very far and have to fly in, and then a lot of us bring equipments and medications to donate. But as I said, it's a joy for all of us.
Dr. Lay wants to remind everyone to stay hydrated. And the Joplin Humane Society wants the city of Neosho to know it has no more room for animals. Efforts have been made to reach out to faithful friends, but that Neosho shelter says they are also filled to capacity. To further complicate matters, the situation leaves the Neosho Police Department with no place to take animals that they might usually pick up. They'll be limited to dangerous animals until the shelter space is available. Investigators in a rape and kidnapping case out of Kansas City, Missouri, are dealing with a setback. A potential witness to the alleged crime, Janie Crossdale, was found dead along the Missouri River. Police say she may have known more about a 22-year-old woman escaping the home of Timothy Hazlitt last year. That woman told police she was raped and tortured for weeks inside Hazlitt's house. According to one attorney, the discovery of Crossdale's remains allows police to ask new questions of Hazlitt. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the Cornerstone Spartans, a Joplin-based football team, now can play against MSHS AA teams. We'll have more details with Chris in sports. Plus, yesterday was Coloring Book Day, and we'll have how coloring is actually good for your brain. And the weekend is almost here, which means the excessive heat is almost gone. We'll have when you'll start seeing some relief. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, Cornerstone Football, a high school team made up of players that are either homeschooled or opt not to play with the school they attend, just became approved competition by the Missouri State High School Activities Association. Now, this means that the Spartans are allowed to play against other teams located in Missouri, which wasn't possible in previous years of the program's existence and is a game changer for the Joplin-based team. Head coach Terrence Pullum says this is also a game changer, and also may help boost up player enrollment numbers, which are currently down.
So early in the year is always kind of difficult because we're notorious for finding out that people don't know about us until, around this time or later in this month. But right now we're at 13, which is very low for 8-man football, but we've played with a lot lower. So I always tell them, like, hey, our options are you guys either find some buddies that want to play or you guys are going to be in really good shape because you're not getting off the field. I talked to the coaches and some of our board members, and I know some of the boys know, but they are very excited excited. Of course, they know, we already had almost a full schedule this year, so I've only been able to add one Misha school so far, but especially for the ones that are coming back next year, they're really excited.
Northeastern Oklahoma A&M has a new head volleyball coach, Sarah Wall. Lady Norse fans can rest easy about the fact that she has a long track record of success over the past couple of decades right here in the 4 states. Starting first with her high school coaching career, Wall led the Webb City and Carl Junction programs for more than 20 seasons and laid claim to more than 400 victories along the way. She's also been inducted into the CJ Athletics Hall of Fame and most recently was an assistant coach at Pitt State. NEO begins its 2023 season in 3 weeks from tomorrow on August 24th against Ozark Christian in Miami. Well, still to come, a German heavy metal festival gets halted as rain turns the site into a mud bath. And unfortunately, no rain in our immediate future. We'll take a look at that forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, now 5:16 on this Thursday morning. Hard to believe it's Thursday already. This week has gone by rather quickly. We're taking a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. All this green stuff you see in our immediate area, unfortunately, is not real. It's not actually happening. It's this activity that is, and I tell you, I have never seen Mother Nature so intentionally avoid us. Just look at the arch of showers and thunderstorms as it just completely misses us. Now, there's still a chance, similar to yesterday, that some of our northern counties could get in on some thunderstorm activity as this all continues to push off to the east. Unfortunately, at least for this morning, most of this is not going to do us any good, but we do have some good news later on down the road. The bad news is excessive heat warnings continue across the area. In fact, Springfield has extended the excessive heat warnings, not just to include more counties, but now they run until 10 o'clock tonight because we're going to have those heat index values once again, 105 to 115. And here in a moment, you're going to find out why they extended it through 10 o'clock tonight. Heat exhaustion is likely. Heat stroke is possible. So as we've been reminding you, you've got to make sure staying hydrated, taking breaks, limit your outdoor activities, or simply don't go outside if you can avoid it. Wear lightweight, light-colored clothing and check on the elderly and your pets. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line. It looks good even though it's hot outside. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue. Our camera, 7th and Range Line, shows us what looks like a nice start to the day. Unfortunately, it is humid and unpleasant. 84 in Joplin, feeling like 87 out there, and temperatures around the area are not much better, except up in the north. Now, while you're not getting the rain, you're getting the benefits of some extra cloud cover, and from the gust front that came off those showers, keeping it a little cooler. 76 the 8th Center, Nevada, 75 Iola, Fort Scott. But as you go further south away from that activity, it's warmer. 80 Neosho, 81 Monette, Cassville, 83 Miami, 79 Parsons, Pittsburgh, and 82 in Independence and Chautauqua. We have those isolated showers again, mainly for our northern counties as we go through the morning, similar to yesterday. Otherwise, we're partly cloudy, increasing clouds, and will be variable from partly to mostly cloudy throughout the day. But look at that, mid-90s by 11 a.m. with highs today right around 105 degrees, and some of us in our southern counties could go higher than that. And here's why, at least on the Springfield side, these excessive heat warnings run through 10 p.m. Look at 10 p.m. Still at 91 degrees out there. We do have some scattered thunderstorm chances as we head later into the evening and overnight. Not everybody's going to see rain, but there are rain chances out there as we head into the overnight hours. So hopefully a few more of us can get in on that activity. Unfortunately, we hold on to the triple digits still through Friday, still hot on Saturday. Thunderstorm chances still expected to increase heading into next week, and temperatures still expected to decrease back into the upper 80s and lower 90s. That's a quick check of your forecast. We are back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, about 300 hospitals have shut down their childbirth units in the past 5 years, according to analysis from the March of Dimes. If found, about 1 in 10 women who gave birth last year lived more than 30 minutes from a birthing hospital. The report indicates more than a third of U.S. counties are what it calls maternity care deserts. The problem affects rural areas the most. 8 counties in Texas have that designation, according to the March of Dimes. The organization says demand for care in that state has increased since abortion restrictions took effect. And 2 lots of Tide birth control pills are being recalled over possible reduced effectiveness. Tide is produced by Lupin Pharmaceuticals. The affected lots were distributed in the U.S. between June 3, 2022 and May 31, 2023. They are set to expire in January and September 2024. The recall announcement said the lots tested low for ascorbic acid, which might impact the effectiveness of the pills and result in unplanned pregnancy. High levels of impurity were also found. Lupin says it hasn't received any reports of adverse effects or unexpected pregnancies related to the pills. The company advises people who use Titami to continue taking it, but to contact their healthcare provider to determine an alternate birth control plan. And Black parents say they and their children are more likely to experience unfair treatment when seeking medical care than others. Researchers found about 22% of Black parents said they were judged unfairly or mistreated because of their race or ethnicity. The rate at which Black parents reported this treatment was about 10% higher than parents who are white, Hispanic, or who identify as part of other racial groups. Race, ethnicity, country of origin, and primary language were among the most common reasons Black parents said they were treated unfairly. The study also found 7 in 10 parents who reported experiencing unfair healthcare treatment were more likely to delay treatments after those experiences. And yesterday was National Coloring Book Day, kind of a random holiday, but this hobby has been gaining popularity over the years for adults. And it's not just for fun. Health experts say it can actually improve your mental health. Mandy Gaither has 3 ways adult coloring can help your brain.
From flower designs to patterns, it's a trend that's taken off. Coloring isn't just for kids.
It can be good for anyone across all age groups.
Cleveland Clinic clinical psychologist Adam Borland says this hobby has become increasingly popular for adults and is actually a healthy distraction. He says coloring can reduce stress, improve sleep, which may boost energy levels.
Basically, what coloring is a mindfulness activity. It can be meditative. It prioritizes emotional presence. And anytime we can find activities like that, it's wonderful because we live in a highly stressful world. And I think this could be a very nice distraction.
Now found in a variety of themes, Borland says coloring books can be an inexpensive tool to help adults relax.
It's so easy to get caught up in social media and being on our phones and the 24-hour news cycle, that when we can take a step away and just do something fun and potentially nostalgic, it can really have wonderful effects on our mood.
Whether it's with friends or alone, Borland says coloring can also help unleash your creativity.
You can just sit back, take out your colored pencils, your crayons, listen to some music, and enjoy a fun and relaxing activity.
The Cleveland Clinic says adult coloring can affect people differently. One health expert says it may depend on your past. If you like coloring when you were young, you'll likely enjoy it as an adult. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we do have a few showers out there, not in our immediate area yet, but some of our northern counties, like yesterday, could get a stray shower or 2 through the morning. Better storm chances overnight, and we still have those excessive heat warnings as well. We're going to talk about that full forecast when we come back.
Good morning, I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy with your KOAM News Update. Gather your friends, family, and neighbors as it's time for the bed races in Arma, Kansas. It's getting close to Arma, Kansas's homecoming, which is known as Arma VJ Day Homecoming. This tradition dates all the way back to 1946 and is believed to be the oldest running VJ Day or World War II celebration in the country. This year, they brought back the bed races, where a team of 5 people, 4 pushers and 1 rider, raced down Washington Street in the town. And while Marion Days offers plenty of food, activities, and people to meet, the language barrier can provide some challenges. But for some, especially younger generations, it gives them an opportunity to not only use their native language, but to also learn a bit more English.
We still have excessive heat warnings across the majority of the area. Heat index values once again 105 to 115. Partly to mostly cloudy skies. Highs right around 105 today. As we head through the evening, we stay hot. 90s still by 10 o'clock, and then some scattered thunderstorm chances late evening and overnight. Not everybody will get rain, but some of us will. Still hot through at least Saturday. Storm chances increase as we head into the next work week, and our temperatures begin to decrease.
Right now at 5:30, Marion Days kicks off in Carthage, and they're expecting around 80,000 people this year.
And we still have excessive heat warnings for virtually every county in the area. We'll talk about that dangerous heat again coming up.
Also, the Crawford County Fair kicks off in Girard, Kansas, where kids are showing off their livestock that they put a lot of work into.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:28 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's already hot and humid out there yet again across the area. But the good news is in a few more days, these temperatures we've got right now at 5:30 in the morning are going to be our highs. So it's going to be great relief that is on the way. Unfortunately, we still have a lot of heat to deal with. We also still have some scattered showers out there. That's similar to yesterday. You look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, nothing in our immediate coverage area, but we do have a few scattered showers out there, and like yesterday, they may try and skirt through our northern counties as we head through the morning hours. So unfortunately, not all of us will get rain, but at least some of us will get some scattered shower activity as we head through the morning hours. All of us, though, dealing with excessive heat warnings. What is it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Benton County. So six counties out of all of these that aren't under excessive heat warnings. And Springfield's extended theirs until 10 o'clock tonight because we are not going to cool down very well at all this evening. Heat index values, again, 105, 115 out there, so heat exhaustion likely, heat stroke is possible. You've got to make sure you're taking precautions, staying hydrated, taking frequent breaks, limit those strenuous outdoor activities, wear lightweight, light-colored clothes, and make sure you're checking on the elderly and the pets. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, it is hot. And same from the KDOT camera at 69 at East 520th Avenue. What it doesn't say is it is hot, but this tells us that. It's 84 in Joplin, feels like 87, and a very quick look at temperatures around the area. Up north where there's been some cloud cover and a little bit of outflow from those showers, a little cooler, 75 Iola, Fort Scott, 76 Nevada. And then we go south, 81 Independence, 82 Chatopa, 83 Miami, 81 in Neosho. We'll have another complete look at your forecast and let you know when that relief is going to get here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Marian Days kicks off in Carthage, Missouri. The event brings together Vietnamese Catholics from around the nation. Marian Day celebrates its 44th year. The festival aims to pass down culture, traditions, and language. For the younger generations, it gives them an opportunity to use their native language, but to also learn a bit more English.
We try to get them to understand the Vietnamese culture, but and we also understand that they're American born, so English is more than their first language, so we have program for them.
I remember even telling the teacher I would need to use the restroom would be hard. She would never understand me. I would just cry, never go back to school. But slowly they started having this program at my school which helped me learn some English, and slowly I got more friends. I wasn't the shy kid who didn't know how to talk, but I became more open, more wise, know how to use my words more.
While Marian Days offers plenty of food, activities, and people to meet, the language barrier can provide some challenges. But for some, especially younger generations, it gives them an opportunity to not only use their native language, but to also learn a bit more English.
I remember even telling the teacher I would need to use the restroom would be hard. She would never understand me. I would just cry, never go back to school. But slowly they started having this program at my school which helped me learn some English, and slowly I got more friends. I wasn't the shy kid who didn't know how to talk, but I became more open, more wise, know how to use my words more.
Marian Days is set to continue through Saturday. And later today, former President Trump is set to appear in court for a third time this year, this time in Washington, D.C. The development follows his latest indictment on 4 felony charges stemming from the special counsel's January 6 investigation. Trump has been given the option to appear either in person or virtually. Nicole D'Antonio has more on the case and what to expect from Washington.
Metal gates were set up outside the U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C., where former President Trump will make his first court appearance in a second federal case brought by special counsel Jack Smith. He's expected to enter a not guilty plea to 4 felony counts related to his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election results.
What the president wants to do is absolutely defend himself on these baseless charges.
Yesterday, the 2024 GOP presidential candidate was spotted on the golf course at his New Jersey club. Trump has repeatedly slammed the indictment as election interference, and last night he suggested on social media the trial should be moved from here in Washington to the state of West Virginia. Sources say Trump's legal team is preparing to argue that the former president's false claims about the 2020 election were not criminal, and that he was following the advice of outside attorneys at the time, some of whom are believed to be among the 6 unnamed co-conspirators mentioned in the 45-page indictment. Trump's former vice president and 2024 rival Mike Pence gave hours of testimony to the grand jury.
Sadly, the president was surrounded by a group of crackpot lawyers that kept telling him what his itching ears wanted to hear.
Meanwhile, security remains tight at the courthouse and nearby Capitol. Police say they are prepared for, quote, whatever might happen. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Washington.
After today's hearing, the case will be handed over to the U.S. District Court Judge Tanya Chutkan, an Obama appointee. In a previous case, Judge Chutkan ruled against former President Trump's attempts to shield his White House records from Congress, saying in her decision, quote, presidents are not kings. And the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas is teaming up with area EMS, sheriff's departments, and emergency management teams to provide health checks for presidents. The first one was held in West Mineral. They were offering free vaccines, vaccine education, and blood pressure checks. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office also handed out free gun locks.
Gun safety is a major importance, and maybe people don't have access to gun locks, so we are able to provide them to keep guns safe and away from kids. Theft prevention and scam, as the elderly get older, people call and they have a good story and they're trying to get money, so if we can educate them to keep them from getting their money stolen, that's always the best outcome.
The health center will be hosting a vaccine clinic on the first Wednesday of each month. The next one will be September 6th in Weir. Kansas Fair season continues with the 107th annual Crawford County Fair just east of Girard. Area kids work hard all year long, and the fair gives them the opportunity to show off the results of that work. A lot of consideration goes into how these exhibitors show their livestock, including which type of animals to showcase.
I think goats take a little less of your time, so that way you can just do more things and focus on more things.
The fair offers everything from agriculture-related events to live music, a carnival, shopping, and great food. You can get more information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. And gather your friends, family, and neighbors as it's time for the bed races in Arma, Kansas. It's getting close to Arma, Kansas's homecoming, which is known as Arma VJ Day Homecoming. This tradition dates all the way back to 1946 and is believed to be the oldest running VJ Day or World War II celebration in the country. This year, they brought back the bed races, where a team of 5 people, 4 pushers and 1 rider, raced down Washington Street in the town.
Bed races are open to anyone, which means organizations can enter, groups can enter, families can enter, 4 people who don't know each other can enter. Anyone, so it really opens it up.
The beds must be designed with 4 function wheels of any size, and the design of the beds cannot be lewd, profane, or vulgar, as the event is family friendly. And that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up on this half hour of the KOAM Morning News, we take a sneak peek at the newest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Plus, a British zoo confirms that indeed the sun bear is real and it is not a human in a bear suit. We'll have the largest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, Pope Francis begins his 5-day visit to Portugal by meeting with church sexual abuse survivors. Francis meeting with 13 abuse victims for more than an hour at the Vatican Embassy in Lisbon. The meeting was described as one of the, quote, intense listening by the Pope. It comes 6 months after a Portuguese commission found nearly 5,000 boys and girls were sexually abused by clergy, mostly priests, over a period of 7 decades. In a statement, the Portuguese Bishops' Conference said of the meeting was part of a path of reconciliation, which includes putting victims first. And we're learning more about the fate of Army Private Travis King, who ran across the border into North Korea more than 2 weeks ago. Alex Hogan has more.
It's been just over 2 weeks since Army Private Travis King crossed the border into North Korea, a shocking act that left the Pentagon, the White House, and much of the world wondering if it was a defection or a tragic accident. And now, for the first time since he left a tour group and sprinted across the border, Pyongyang is acknowledging the incident.
United Nations Command did communicate through the Joint Security Agency. I can confirm that the DPRK has responded to United Nations Command.
But little else is known about the conditions under which King is being held and whether he's cooperating with North Korean intelligence. The Pentagon is conducting a joint investigation with U.S. forces in Korea about King's actions, while the State Department reaches out to regional powers like China to help learn more.
Have the Chinese indicated in any direction whether they're willing to engage on that?
I don't know if it came, I just don't know if it came up.
The incident with Private King comes at a difficult time. We've seen an uptick in North Korea's military activities, including multiple missile tests last week. And over the weekend, high-ranking defense officials from China and Russia visited Pyongyang, getting a first-hand look at Kim Jong-un's most advanced weapons.
If North Korea, China, and Russia are under pressure by the United States, they might be trying to show that they have a military security alliance to resist it.
On Wednesday, North Korea criticized the U.S. once again, calling the new special envoy, Julie Turner, a, quote, political housemaid. It's winter in Argentina, but it sure doesn't look like it. The nation recording its hottest winter season in 117 years. In Buenos Aires, the high on Tuesday reaching 86 degrees as locals do whatever they can to beat the heat. A typical winter in Argentina hits a maximum of 64 degrees. The previous hottest start to August was recorded in 1942 at 76 degrees. And Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his wife Sophie shocked citizens as they announced their separation. In a joint statement on social media, the couple confirmed after many meaningful and difficult conversations, they made the decision to separate. The statement concluded that they remain a close family with deep love and respect for each other and for everything they have built and will continue to build. Justin and Sophie married in 2005 and have 3 children. He's the second Canadian PM to announce a separation while still in office. Justin's father, Pierre Trudeau, was the first. Heavy rain turned a heavy metal festival into a mud bath in Germany, and it prompted the annual Wacken Open Air Festival to halt admissions. The festival is held in fields outside the village of Wacken in northern Germany. Incessant rain turned the farmland into a muddy swamp, presenting severe accessibility problems. Organizers were forced to cap entry to the sold-out festival for the first time since it began in 1990. A total admission stop was announced Wednesday, meaning only about 60% of the 85,000 ticket holders were allowed to enter the 4-day event. The festival's website stated that given the weather conditions, the reasonable visitor capacity has now been reached. People with tickets who had not arrived yet were told to turn their cars around and go home. And Peru unveils a fossil from what could be the heaviest animal of all time. The fossils are said to be from a new species of whale and are being shown off the University of San Marcos Natural History Museum in Lima. Each vertebrae is said to weigh over 220 pounds, and each rib is nearly 5 feet long. Paleontologists calculate that the ancient animal weighed between 94 and 375 tons. The biggest blue whales recorded in the modern era weigh about 200 tons. The bones were discovered over a decade ago by the university. It took several years for an international team to dig the bones out of the side of a steep, rocky slope that was once underwater. The fossils are believed to be 39 million years old. And a bear in China continues to remain at the center of a conspiracy theory after footage of a Malayan sun bear standing on its hind legs at a zoo in China went viral. Other zoos are posting videos of the same species of bear performing similar behaviors. Some have suggested the bear in China might actually be a human in a bear costume after it was spotted standing upright in front of visitors. The Chinese zoo denied the rumors, and in support of its Asian counterpart, a zoo in England said the behavior is normal and sun bears actually have quite good balance. Sun bears are native to Southeast Asia and are considered a threatened species. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:47 now on this Thursday morning across the area. Taking a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. Still nothing really happening in our immediate area, but we have this little arch of showers and thunderstorms, almost as if it's intentionally avoiding us. But like yesterday, we could see a few of these showers track east and skirt across our northern counties. They're not going to do a lot, but at least it's a little extra rainfall up to the north. And then we're going to see better rain chances, so don't worry. Don't get jealous of the folks up north. Don't get angry at them. We're all going to start to see better rain chances as we head through the next few days. Let's take a look at this. I know we don't want to. We got to remind you, we now have the excessive heat warnings for virtually every county in our area. In fact, Springfield added in counties in southwest Missouri and extended their excessive heat warning through 10 o'clock. For everyone else, they run until 9, and that is again for heat index values pushing upwards of 115, where heat exhaustion is likely and heat stroke is possible. So make sure you're taking the appropriate precautions if you have to be outdoors, staying hydrated, taking breaks, limiting those activities, wear lightweight, light-colored clothing, make sure you're checking on the elderly, and don't leave your pets out there too long either. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line. It's dark, but we're all right. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh. Our camera, 7th and Range Line. We do have some cloud cover out there. We're sitting at 84 in Joplin, feels like 87, so it's hot out there, even at this hour of the day. It's been hot like that since 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. We've got 75 Fort Scott, 73 in Iola, because you're not necessarily getting the rain, but you're getting the outflow and you're getting the cloud cover, and that's helping a little bit to the north. 82 Chetopa, 83 Miami, Carthage, and 81 in the Osho. Got the isolated showers like yesterday for our northern counties. The rest of us partly cloudy to mostly cloudy and hot. We're talking mid-90s by late morning, and as we head into the afternoon, varying between partly to mostly cloudy skies, and we've got highs pushing right around 105. Some of us, especially down to the south, may go a little bit hotter than that. And here's why the excessive heat warnings go so late now for everybody. Look at this, 10 o'clock, still 91 degrees expected outside. However, by the late evening, we'll see some scattered showers and thunderstorms, and we'll see some scattered storms overnight as well, dropping back into the upper 70s and lower 80s. So again, tonight, not everybody will get rain, but more of us will get rain. And then those rain chances will continue to increase. 104 tomorrow, 99 on Saturday, and then we're looking at thunderstorm chances Saturday. Some of those could be strong, possibly severe. We'll keep an eye on that for you, but otherwise it is enough to kick our temperatures back down into the upper 80s and lower 90s as we head into the next work week. So that relief is on the way. Just a couple, 3 more days to get through before it gets here. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are back in theaters, and moviegoers are saying it's earned a cowabunga. Rick Damagello reports.
The heroes in a half shell are back in the animated adventure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
We must use stealth and cunning to infiltrate the human world and retrieve Go-Gurt.
Okay, Batman.
Dude, what? I'm just trying to hype you guys up, okay?
The film marks the first time actual teenagers have voiced the Turtles.
Hi, I'm Shaman and I play Mikey. Yeah.
I'm Nicholas Cantu, I play Leonardo, or Nardo.
I'm Mike Abby and I play Donatello.
I'm Brady Noon, I play Raphael.
What? You watch a movie with a humans? Ugh. You ratted us out.
Hey, don't use that word that way.
The movie features Jackie Chan as Master Splinter and was co-written by Seth Rogen.
He brings so much to this because he is a fan of the Turtles since he was little, so he really knows the ins and outs of these characters, and it's got that Seth Rogen flair. They actually had to tone it down a bit. You guys remember
The teen spirit extends to the film's art style.
We tried to write a story that was about what it feels like to be a teenager, and then gave it this art style that just is reminiscent of the deconstructed way you draw in your notebook margins when you're an actual teen and you don't have formal art training yet.
Enough talk! I dream about fighting every night.
You've got a rage problem, right?
It's not a problem!
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
And the interviews in this story were conducted before the SAG-AFTRA strike began on July 14th. Union members are not doing interviews about their work during the strike. Stay tuned. We've got more news ahead when we come back. Take a look at the first images from the Euclid Space Telescope taken from about 1 million miles above Earth. These are preliminary test shots showing a few galaxies, but scientists at the European Space Agency have big plans for the spacecraft. They hope to create the largest ever 3D map of the sky, revealing more about the unknown parts of the universe. The Euclid project manager says these initial images suggest the telescope could exceed expectations. And NASA says it has detected what it calls a heartbeat from Voyager 2 after losing contact with the spacecraft, which has been operating for nearly 46 years. Voyager's project manager says the signal they detected shows Voyager 2 is alive and operating. Commands sent to it last month accidentally caused its antenna to point 2 degrees away from Earth. That shift means it can't get any commands for mission control or send data back to Earth from its location more than 12.3 billion miles away. Using an international array of massive radio antennas, NASA will be able to detect the spacecraft's carrier signal. Now the mission team will attempt to send a signal back to Voyager 2. And here's your daily dose of cute. The Whipsnade Zoo is celebrating the birth of twin red pandas as part of a European breeding program for the endangered species. They were born June 25th, weighing just 4 ounces. Red panda cubs are blind for the first 30 days of their lives and rely heavily on their mothers. Zookeepers say the twins are just starting to open their eyes, but they won't likely venture outside for at least another month. The babies haven't been named yet. Zookeepers say that will happen after their first check at 8 weeks old.
We've still got excessive heat warnings across the area. Heat index values up to 115. Isolated showers mainly in our northern counties as we go through the morning hours. The rest of us partly to mostly cloudy, hot. We're talking mid-90s by 11, and that means even hotter in the afternoon. Temperatures reaching around 105 degrees under partly to mostly cloudy skies. Now, as we head into the evening, we stay hot. Look at this, 104 at 6, 98 at 8, 91 by 10. We also see some increasing scattered thunderstorm chances across the area, and they'll stick with us overnight back into the upper 70s, lower 80s. Not everybody gets rain tonight, but a few more of us will get rain tonight. Our rain chances continue to increase. We stay hot Friday and Saturday, and then as we get into the next work week, we begin to see our temperatures fall back to much more manageable levels. We'll be back with another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.